Hold up.
Okay, we are live. Yay, I see people joining. Awesome. Feel free to say hello. Hey, Greg. Woohoo! This is so exciting. Let me make sure you're unmuted. Say something. No, unmute.
What's up? What's up?
Hello. We're so excited to have you.
Didn't know I was gonna be on video, but yeah, I'm standing up.
That's the worst surprise in the world, and I'm so sorry.
I'm glad I'm wearing clothes.
Anyone else agree? Like when clients are like, "Hey, our call is a video call," you're like, "No, where's my lipstick? Quick!" You know, it's like I can't do a video call unless I know about it. But good news, we can quick hop to your screen, so you don't have to entertain us or dance or anything like that.
Okay.
But welcome. I'm so excited. We've got an awesome crew already here, and more people will be joining, I'm sure, over the course of this. But and then obviously there will be a replay for everybody, which is awesome fun too. So this is the SMU crew, and they are so excited that you're here.
Awesome.
Yes. Now I could intro you, but I feel like my intro isn't even cool enough because you've done some amazing things as an affiliate, and I only know one branch of it. So Greg is like a beast when it comes to affiliate work and building revenue streams that are passive, mostly passive or leveraged. Yeah. So you are a dream car winner. Is anyone familiar with the dream car contest that ClickFunnels has? Some people. Yeah. People are like, yeah, I've seen that. So Greg, you won a dream car from ClickFunnels. How many affiliates do you have, or have you not shared that?
You know, I got distracted at the end of last year, so I'm still maintaining it, but it's still less than 200, but over 100, so it's all right.
Oh, it's okay. Okay. And one of the things that I found personally is that affiliate work is something that you have to really build a solid foundation for. I have not been aggressive about my affiliates. I'm stuck at like 27 and it stays there. But someone like you who built an amazing foundation, it's so cool. And so we're really excited to have you here. But if you want to feel free to introduce yourself, you're going to say so much better and more exciting things than I even can think of, because I don't know all of the different things that you are an affiliate for.
I don't really want to follow that, but it's most of my success has come in the last like year or so. So like I took the extremely slow route to get to where I'm at. So in my presentation, I'll get into it like in my little bio or whatever. But yeah, I've been in the internet marketing space for like a decade, but most of the time has been learning, and a lot of doubt for myself, because it took me a while to get out to like live events and stuff. And then when you start to kind of talk to other people, you're like, oh, wow, I know more than I think I know. But then some of the people that in the SEO space that I met and at these events, they were making more money than me. So I was like, man, I just got to take more action, because they're clearly don't know as much about SEO, but they're crushing it. And meanwhile, I'm like still at a job and stuff. So yeah, my first 6-figure year was last year. So I had been making a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a month consistently up until that point. But it wasn't until, I really just focused and took more action that I was able to like compound that basically. So when I basically got the confidence that, oh, what I'm doing is like, I don't know if it's like the perfect right way, but it's right enough. Like, so just run with what's working. And so.
I love it. Well, awesome. So what I'm going to do is, this pregnant mama has to use the restroom. So I'm going to let you take the stage. And if you want to, feel free to share your screen. I can make you a co-host.
Okie doke.
Here you go. You are a co-host.
Okay.
And it is yours. I'm going to mute, and I will be right back in just a moment.
Okay. So can everybody see my screen then? I'm a little bit not sure what to do with chat and all that stuff.
You guys aren't seeing me full screen, are you? I think you guys are seeing me full screen, and I'm not trying to make that happen right now. Let me see. I think I just, can you guys see his screen? Yes. Okay. I think we're good.
Okay, cool. So cool. So, um, yeah, Rachel said that you guys are all social media managers. So the title of this presentation is just how to add affiliate revenue onto your social media manager income. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I kind of explain SEO to you in the way that I do it. And yeah, we'll just get started. So this is kind of laid out in the like perfect webinar format. And so, you know, if you stay till the end, I want to share this plugin that's been responsible for a lot of my success. This cheap little $20 WordPress plugin that's, been responsible for a lot of the sales on my site. So it basically is a back button redirect script that kind of cookie stuffs people, but it kind of added to my success exponentially, kind of increased my profits and stuff. So you all know the drill. Like if, you know, with webinars and stuff, just make sure you're paying attention. Obviously this is recorded, so you'll have a chance to rewatch it, but there is going to be a lot of information shared in this presentation. And I just want to mention, you know, I'm kind of new to being a presenter on Zoom, so I don't know where to see the chat and stuff, but if you have any questions, you can ask them and I'll circle back around at the end and I'll make sure to get all those answered and stuff. So just a little bit about me. My name is Jeffries. I live in Austin, Texas right now. Make over 6 figures a year as an affiliate SEO. I am a ClickFunnels Dream Car winner, and at the time of making this slide, I hadn't yet made 6 figures with ClickFunnels. Now I have, so I've actually made over 6 figures as an affiliate with ClickFunnels, so that's pretty cool. Been involved in online marketing now for about over a decade, but as I was mentioning to Rachel, like probably the first like 7 or 8 years, it was just kind of dabbling with it, and I was just gradually getting better and a lot of that was limiting beliefs I had for myself because luckily I had really encouraging, supporting parents, but they weren't entrepreneurial. So I just took the normal route I thought I was supposed to take, which is, you know, finish high school, go to college, get a degree, and then go get a job. But I sucked at getting jobs, and I like sucked at jobs. I'm not lazy, but I just I could never, I don't know, figure out how to get my foot in the door of a job that paid me like more than 20 something thousand a year, which is like below the poverty line in America, which sucks because like I have a job that I'm working full time and I'm freaking broke. It's a terrible feeling. And so, but luckily my credit was pretty awesome because I was able to somehow pay my bills. So you know, I was able to pay, you know, for my internet marketing education stuff with just like maxing out credit cards, and got tens of thousands of dollars in debt. So that was fun. But I got out of it. I'll say this, like, I don't know how long you guys have been in the internet marketing space, but I'm pretty young, but I've seen a lot over the years. So like, you know, I remember back in like 99 and 2000 and stuff when I would see like these sales pages, I didn't really know what I was looking at. And these sales videos of marketers that would be like, oh yeah, I was at $30,000 in debt and then I made $1 million online and everything's better. And I was like, how do you even get into $30,000 worth of debt? You know, this doesn't even make sense. But I can say from experience that this is possible, and it's also possible to get out of debt of that amount. So it's pretty cool. And this is, something that's kind of more like a webinar slide, but I just want to throw this in there because it's pretty cool. So I imagine since you guys are all are mostly social media managers, you probably do pretty well and you have client income, but hopefully, you know, after this webinar or this talk that you'll kind of encourage you and inspire you to kind of create passive income and stuff. So like, just imagine one day waking up and you roll out of bed, and before you even roll out of bed, you get, you know, a couple $100 that you made passively. You know, that's not rock star money, but for a lot of you, I bet just 100 to 200 bucks a day, you'd be like, well, I'm not, you know, I don't have to get another client this month or something. Or I can just take a week off just to freaking relax or something, you know, because I'm sure the money is nice from client work and stuff, but man, just to have that kind of backup money of like 100, 200 bucks to just cover the expenses of, just the unforeseen things, or just if you want to take a day off and spend with your family or relax or go on vacation or something, it's pretty nice. So, and you don't need to make $1 million to do that. What I've found, like the magic number for me that I've found talking to hundreds of people online over the years, is just like 100 to 200 bucks. And that's a pretty modest income in the States, but you go to other countries and that's like rock star money over there. So, I mean, just that small amount can, you can do pretty well with that. So what we're going to cover in this talk, it's not really like a traditional webinar, but again, these are just like slides that are set up kind of like the perfect webinar, but I just want to go over an overview of kind of SEO and how it works, based on how I found it to work in my experience. And, and just sort of debunk some of the myths, the traditional myths that you probably have and you've probably heard over the years. I'm going to go over a little simple framework for building my niche affiliate sites and some simple strategies to scale, to kind of give you some ideas of just like how vast this opportunity is. And it's not going anywhere. It's not like one of these trends. It's like, hey, we got to get on the, Instagram train before it leaves or whatever, before the new social media platform, pops up. This is SEO has been around since, beginning of the internet, and it's not really going anywhere. It may change a little, but it's pretty evergreen. And then I want to go over, probably introduce a couple of examples, and then at the end we'll just go over some questions, because I want to make sure that this stuff is clear and makes sense to you guys. There is going to be a brain dump of information, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible, because it really is pretty simple, or at least my approach to it is pretty simple. So first thing I want to cover is, we get the 3 secrets or whatever, but I like to call them my 3 S's. So this kind of, I use these 3 S's to kind of apply to anything I'm going into and spending time and effort into building up. So I want those things to be simple, scalable, and sustainable. So the first thing we're going to go over is, SEO is simple. So it doesn't, I remember after I started getting some success with SEO, I remember going through some courses years ago that taught some of the same stuff that I'm doing now, but I had no clue what I was like watching back then, because the people teaching it were like speaking in ones and zeros and code and stuff. And I was like, they were trying to communicate it to me, but they weren't doing a great job, in my opinion. So SEO doesn't have to be super complicated. I'm not one of those SEOs that focuses on all this super technical stuff. So I feel like I have a pretty solid understanding of it, and I just my focus is very high level. So, and I'll you'll see more of that like in the strategy and stuff. And the second secret is SEO is scalable. So there's just so many, products and services that you can promote, and it's never ending. Like there's the evergreen stuff, there's the seasonal stuff, there's, and then there's the trends and there's new ones every year. So it's just like an infinite. I call it infinitely scalable. And then last secret is SEO sustainable. So, I'm going to show you how this, building these sites, there are more like less sustainable ways to do it. They're more like spammy-ish and black hat, but they work. And then there's the more sustainable ways to build sites, which, we'll just try to go over all of these. So here's the big income. I'm sorry.
I want to hop in for 1 second.
Yeah.
I bet everyone here is like, wait a second, you can use SEO to build affiliate income? Yeah, you can use SEO to build a lot of different types of income. And SEO, search engine optimization, that's been your main traffic. Like that's how you built all of this that we're about to see in just a second, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
You did it all pretty much with SEO, right?
Exactly. And a lot, like I've been doing a lot of interviews lately and stuff, and people ask me like, well, why'd you start with SEO? It's like, cause that's the only thing I could do. Cause like PPC, like the big hurdle back then with PPC with me was like, I didn't have any money as a budget. And so I just kind of had, SEO can be slow, but I had time. I was poor, I had time, plenty of time. And the tools and resources that are required to build a website or to create a video are like very minimal. We're talking like $100 or less total. And you can create like tons of videos with like a microphone, a laptop, internet connection, and like some screen recording software. Or for a website, domains are like $15 and hosting's like a couple bucks a month. So this is a very inexpensive approach. And so although you can, make 6 figures. I've got SEO friends that make 7. Heck, there's probably people that make 8, 9 figures with SEO. So it's possible, but I'm not trying to like pitch that sort of a dream because that obviously take a little bit more effort. I'm just trying to get people to, build up a sustainable passive income that can cover their monthly expenses. And, potentially if they want to build up to like 6 figures plus or something, that's fine. They can do that with a little bit of extra effort. So yeah, and you can do this it doesn't just have to be like affiliate sites and stuff. It can be your e-commerce. The same stuff is applicable for all kinds of niches and anything you want to promote and stuff. So,
cool.
So this is the income shot. Not back then I would have thought this was like blow my mind or whatever, but this is not to impress you with like numbers. But more to show you like there's multiple income sources. And one of my sites is iamsource.org. So if you want to check that out kind of in the presentation or afterwards, you can check out my income reports. And what I think is pretty crazy is, I'm making over 5 figures a month with SEO. But if you look at those income reports, there's only usually about 2, sometimes 3 or 4 incomes sources that are over 4 figures a month. The rest are like tiny little income streams, but they all add up to, over 5 figures or, soon to be like multiple 5 figures. And so we're talking about like $100, $50, but when it's coming from 40 different income streams, it's nice, as long as you get that paycheck or a payout every single month, that kind of adds to the pool. So, this is, and I want to mention this too. So like, one of my biggest income streams is ClickFunnels. That's great. That's a big chunk of money. But some people get overwhelmed by like the competition or whatever, the supposed competition of promoting something like ClickFunnels. Whereas, like maybe your income goal is $100,000 this year. Well, I'm not trying to discourage you and say that you can't make it with promoting a tool like ClickFunnels, but don't you think it would be much simpler, much more achievable to create like, I don't know, $100,000, $1,000 a year income streams? Because that's like a tiny, tiny, tiny slice of the pie of that product or whatever. Like you've got ClickFunnels, I've got some other internet marketing tools, and most of these I want to say that these are mostly internet marketing tools. So about a year ago is when I first started branching out from internet marketing kind of products. And you guys may have been in this space for a long time, but it's, now that I'm kind of branching out, I'm seeing that the internet marketing space, like the make my online space, it's a lot smaller than I ever thought. There's a lot bigger niches out there. Like people spend billions of dollars in a lot of other niches out there, and they also have affiliate programs. So don't get super hung up on like, some people see my results and like, oh, you're a dream car winner. Like I want to make money with ClickFunnels too. And like this stuff works for more than just ClickFunnels.
Yep. Sorry, that's me.
Oh, someone's more important than me. No.
Oh, don't call me. Not call.
So just walking through this, I'm just trying to run through this pretty quick. But first is SEO is simple. So so if you've have some experience with SEO, or you've been through other courses in the past, or you're a newbie when it comes to the subject, you probably think SEO is pretty difficult. That's one of the myths. And honestly, I think this is just due to a lot of the misinformation out there, and just, I don't know, maybe people that talk a lot, but they don't actually take any action. So they don't have any results. So they're just like throwing out their thoughts and ideas and stuff. And, it doesn't have to be super difficult. Like you can go as granular as you want in any field if you want, but I try to keep it as simple because, I always think of, I feel like I'm pretty good at communicating stuff. And if I can't communicate something in a simple way to like explain this to my mother and her go have success with it, like why should, I shouldn't be teaching this stuff, and I shouldn't be doing it probably either. Cause it's like, if I can't share it and help other people with it, like what's the point? If I'm the only person that is good at this information or executing my special little strategy. It's not fun because, it's when you don't have money, your first goal is like to get it. But then once you have it, you kind of want all your friends to be well off too, so they can come hang out at events and whatever, go on vacation or just do fun stuff with you. You want to like pull them over to the other side. And so that's what my goal is with some of this information. So, that's, a lot of people think that SEO is just some kind of like magical voodoo that there's no like rhyme or reason to how Google ranks content, but that's false because there has to be some order or structure to it. Like Google is a search engine, it organizes information, and so it was designed by a human, so it's not going to be random. So my approach to SEO, it doesn't really involve a lot of the complicated stuff like the other courses teach out there, like keyword research and competition analysis and backlink building. Those are things I kind of touch on those, but I don't like super granularly focus on each one of those to the point where I'm like, micromanaging these sites that I'm building. I just kind of have this overview of high-level overview of like how SEO works, and I just sort of take action towards building these sites because I know over time eventually they're gonna get traction and traffic equals money and stuff. So, and focusing on all that stuff was really stressful because I am someone that likes to know kind of a complete picture of something before I take action, and that's crippling because like it doesn't have to be super perfect. I am a perfectionist, but it doesn't have to be super perfect. But I have to have a complete picture. Like if one piece is missing, I'm like, oh, I'm super stressed. So that was the big issue with me with like why it took me so long to be successful. Because and one thing I'll say this. So when I went to my first or second live event, I asked somebody that was way more successful than me, and they achieved that success a lot faster, and said, how did you achieve it so fast? Like, how did you get those results so fast? And he was like, first, I started going to live events. Second, I found a mentor at the live events. So it's not, we've all heard of finding mentors, but the caliber of people are much higher than people that you might just stumble upon online. And so they're kind of pre-vetted. The fact that they're paying thousands of dollars just to be there says something. So if y'all don't go to live events, I would highly recommend finding a couple to go to. Like Funnel Hacking Live next month with me and Rachel. No, it makes a huge difference. And in the beginning, I always thought, first of all, I didn't have that much money, but that was also kind of a lie I was telling myself because I would say, oh, I don't have enough money to go to these events. And then I go spend $1,000 on some crappy info product that would be a dud. And so like, dang. So I avoided that for far too many years. So if find a way to come to some of these events because it's sometimes it's hard to track the ROI like the day after or whatever, but I can guarantee you every single live event I've been to has paid for itself like 10 times at least, just by one relationship or something, one piece of information. So that's a little rant there. So, but yeah, so going back to the complicated nature of SEO and how everybody else teaches it, I didn't want to, I love this internet marketing stuff. It's kind of my passion, like it's work and play for me. But I also know that I need to have a life and I don't want to be glued to my computer all day. So that's kind of why I had to develop a more simple approach to SEO because I didn't want to be like this nerd in front of my computer all day, all cramped up and, whatever, burning my eyes out, like staring at my laptop all day or something. But so I developed a really simple approach to SEO and the results have been pretty cool. So my big epiphany for me was when I started focusing on long tail keywords. You've probably heard of those. There's it's just a fancy word for saying longer search phrases. And they're far easier to rank for. They're then more competitive words like lose weight or credit repair. So they're the longer versions of what people are typing in. So one example would be like, or a short term, a short tail example would be like red shoes or something. And a longer tail version of that would be like red Nike men's running shoes or something. It's very long, but it has more buyer intent behind it too. And, you know, it has less, less searches per month, but more buyer intent. And that's all we really care about, you know? So I don't know what the intent behind, you know, the shorter search phrases are, because it could, you know, red shoes, they could be doing research, they could be interested in buying it. Like, I don't know what their intent behind that is. So that was one of my big epiphanies, is focusing on these long tail keywords, because, you know, back when I didn't have that much money, I had like my obsession was trying to find like, what was that little leverage point that I can use to get from like zero to something, or some consistent money. Like, cause I just wanted to believe so bad that there was some way to do that, because you hear all these success stories from like rags to riches, and you're like, how did they do that? Like, how did they get from nothing to like something consistently in their head above water? And that, you know, long tail keywords, focusing on that was what did it for me. Now let's see. Yeah. So the benefit of them is they're easy to rank for. There's tons of them, and the competition is almost like non-existent, because most people aren't involved in SEO anyway, and the ones that are, I feel like a lot of newbie SEOs, they don't focus on them because they're like, oh, first of all, maybe they don't know where to find them. Second, they, you know, I don't know, they're just trained to go after like ClickFunnels review terms and ClickFunnels bonus and all that stuff, which that's great. Like, yeah, you're going to make some sales if you can rank, but then like all the other ClickFunnels affiliates are going after that. So good luck. You know, that was great. I was ranking for those terms too 3 years ago, you know, so, and I could now, but like, there's just so many more long tail. So I love this graph. You can find this online. I think it's like Neil Patel or something, but it just shows kind of illustrates the competition and the cost with like short tail versus long tail. So you can see, yeah, there's a ton of volume with the short tail, but the competition and the cost is ridiculously high. So yeah, if you can rank for something like shoes, yeah, you're going to be getting a ton of traffic, but it's not even targeted. Like, it's so generic and vague. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we've got just as many keywords, if not more, and they're easier to rank for. There's a higher probability of conversion, less competition, and there's more buyer intent behind them. So it's like, which kind of keyword would you want to go after, you know? So this graph makes it pretty clear. So there's 3 kinds of searches. There's informational, navigational, and transactional. The informational ones are people that are just, you know, searching for information. They're doing research, you know, they're not looking to buy. They're just kind of like, maybe they've got a problem. They're looking for to do some research on it before they actually make their purchase or whatever. And there's navigational. So people use search engines to find sites that you would normally just go directly to, like Facebook. So they'll just type in like Facebook to Google to get to Facebook. So, and then the last one is transactional, the keywords that people are typing in to actually buy something. You know, all the search engine like Amazon are transactional. That's good. You know, that's they've all got credit cards. So those are the 3 types of searches, and long tail kind of goes hand in hand with transactional, because, you know, it's more descriptive, and that's the ones that we want to focus on. So, or at least in the beginning, you know, as you start to build up, you know, more authority sites and stuff, you may want to answer some of these informational questions and stuff, and sort of lead them into whatever product or service you're trying to promote. But those are the 3 types of searches. And let's see. Yeah, so the way to get attraction as a beginner, even if you don't have a lot of money, just to start focusing on longer tail search phrases. And this works for websites and videos as well. Videos, you probably get traction faster, because videos, they tend to rank a lot easier and in Google search as well as YouTube. But the only disadvantage with YouTube is you don't really have a lot of control over the page. So you kind of your only call to action is like, please click the link below or something like that. But if you have a website, you like in that traffic. So if you can get them to your page, you can do a lot more things to kind of increase your ROI. But let's see the long tail keywords. Yeah, they're easier to rank for. Yeah, and then the more if you start to target these long tail keywords, the more that you're starting to rank for them, the more you'll naturally begin to rank for more competitive keywords as well. So it's kind of like building a house, and I think of these long tail keywords as like laying one brick at a time, and eventually you're building like this structure, a house or a apartment complex or something like that, and eventually Google's going to start sending you more traffic, more of these competitive keyword search term traffic, because you are ranking for and you have content that's optimized for some of these long tail keywords. So that was a really long description, but SEO is really simple. The takeaway from that is that, long tail is a very simple way to get started with SEO, rather than trying to like hope that you're picking that special keyword using all these magical keyword competitive softwares and stuff. Like, I don't really, hopefully that went too loud. I live by an intersection. Truck that went by, but yeah. So yeah, because rather than trying to cross your fingers and hope that you pick that right keyword to go after, because what I found was, before I started focusing more heavily on long tail keywords, I was going after the long tail, like the keywords that I was told to go after, like lead page review, ClickFunnels bonus, and I was on page 1 for all of them. And I was making some sales, but there would be months where I wouldn't make any, and I'm like, I'm literally on page 1 for all these keywords. What the heck? Like, I'm doing what I was taught to do, and I'm not getting any results. So I've found a lot more just monetary whatever success as a result of going after these long tail keywords, as opposed to going after like something more generic and vague and short term stuff. So the second secret is SEO scalable. So kind of, so you probably, Rachel focused in mostly on social media and Facebook and stuff. And these are like massive traffic sources, and they're great for scaling quickly, especially if you have a, formula for creating proper campaigns and stuff, and you already have your audience dialed in and stuff. Those are great, but just remember that a lot of these paid traffic sources like that that you're buying display ads on and PPC and stuff, they sit on top of other websites, which people get to those sites through SEO. So I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it works in my favor for explaining SEO, but I feel like SEO is like this big, monster or whatever, and all the paid traffic kind of sits on top of it, because how, the people have to get to the pages like HuffPost and stuff first, usually through SEO, and then they monetize it with all those paid and display ads and stuff. So all these media buyers, other than like, maybe Facebook and the Instagram, some of these mobile traffic sources, all the paid traffic is sitting on top of the SEO. So like if you can optimize your content to suck in and siphon that organic traffic, like that's power. And that's once you start to get that, once you kind of basically control that traffic, it's pretty addictive, because it's almost like you can just substitute any offer, and you're just like, you will make some money, like period, almost. Like when I started to get a lot more traction at the beginning of last year with my IM source site, it was ridiculous. I don't know exactly why Google was like favoring this site, but it was like indexing things like crazy. And I would publish like a post today, and then like in 3 days, I'd already make my first sale from like that new product. And it was, it was ridiculous, but that power was pretty addictive. And like to be able to just, and everything I did turned to gold, basically. I like made commissions like that. And I wasn't, an expert copywriter, an awesome at conversions or anything. It was just like the fact that I had traffic and I put an offer in front of that traffic that was somewhat targeted to the keyword that people were landing on the page for, and I made money. Like that was how simple it was. So, because I'm not an expert copywriter yet or anything, but yeah, I just want to kind of communicate that a lot of all these paid traffic sources, most of them sit on top of search traffic. So if you can master this or just control a tiny sliver of like a super tiny niche of traffic, like that can be enough to pay for most all of your expenses. And like most people are probably not going to mess with you ever. Like, ClickFunnels, for example, going back to that, is like competitive in the niche of like ClickFunnels and affiliate marketers, but outside of like there are a lot of niches out there that have tons of traffic and search volume and demand and stuff that like nobody's focusing on, nobody's optimizing for. And one of the things that held me back in the beginning was I was trying to find all these like home run grand slam niches, but just like the more you do of this, the more you'll be able to kind of spot them and recognize them. And if you want some ideas, a good exercise is just to go to a supermarket, go to Barnes and Noble, like look at all those books, look at all those magazines, man. Those are all niches. Like that's stuff that people are interested in buying. So like, don't get overwhelmed and trying to pick like that perfect niche or whatever, because there's tons of them. So like, you got to have that mindset of abundance, not scarcity.
Yep.
Let's see. So yeah, let's zip through this. So yeah, you can think of SEO as infinitely scalable because like there's so many long tail keywords, and I'll kind of go through an example here in a little bit to show you just like how many long tail keywords there are. And then you can multiply those by just all the different languages there are on the planet. So, there's the brand new movies coming out every year. There's brand new TV shows, there's brand new products. There's seasonal products. There's holidays every year. And those are just the regular things that come every year. There's the evergreen products. And then on top of that, you just multiply those by all the languages there in the world. So I only speak English, but there's a lot of other languages in the world, and you don't even have to speak them to create these sites. There's free translation tools, but if you want to do it right, you can pay you can pay someone to like translate it properly and stuff. But if you want to be cheap, you can do these free translation tools and stuff. And there's like markethealth.com or something, is a CPA network. They have health related products. So they've got German offers and Italian offers and stuff. So if you're like, oh man, I don't speak Italian, you don't have to, you just have to understand how to, be resourceful and you can just get the site, the content created in English or write it yourself. And then bam, a few clicks of a button, you've got it in 5 different languages. So it's just like a lot's changed on the internet marketing landscape in the last like decade. Like I think that's why it's easier now too. It's like easier to get from like 0 to somewhere than it was 10 or 20 years ago, just because the tools are so much easier or freer or simpler to use than they were back then. So like I said before, you can make a ton of money just by controlling like a tiny slice of that traffic. And I'll try to share some examples a little bit later, but just some of the weird stuff. I'll throw out this niche, and I just ripped this off another SEO friend because he shared it with me, and so I'm going to promote it too. But his girlfriend promotes these custom plush dog or custom plush animal site, and it has an affiliate program, and she makes like $400 a month consistently from this dinky little site. It's like 4 pages or something, and but I get there's not that many other people promoting this particular site. And I was like, man, it was such a weird mix. But a lot of people have pets, and you can get like your horse or your dog or your cat or your fish or something made as a custom plush animal. So something as weird as that, you can just kind of sit on that for probably years and control that portion of that traffic, and like nobody's gonna mess with you. Like, why would that be competitive? Is there some other like Walmart of a brand that's going to come along and try to be like the Build-A-Bear or whatever of, custom plush animals. I don't think so, So SEO is I just want to communicate this a really massive blue ocean. There's plenty of opportunity to generate tons of millions of dollars a year without becoming saturated. Because I don't know all the different courses and content that you guys have consumed over the years, but there's so many different ways to make money on and offline. And some of the ones in the last couple of years are popular, like e-com, Facebook marketing and stuff. And I always feel that when I go through these courses, as much as I want to be like, make money with everything that I can, I almost feel like, man, am I too late to the game? Like, is this window closing really? Is there much opportunity left? And like with SEO, there's just, it may take a little time and effort, but it's not going to take like forever and ever. And I promise you, once you get some results coming in, you're going to be like, oh man, that was worth it. Because now this, having a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s times 10, 20, 30, that's nice, that you don't have to work for every month. Like you worked once for it, but you're not working every day. I make more money than I've ever made now, and I work less than I've ever. I work less and less every month. I should work more, but when you have the money coming in, regardless, I don't know. It's kind of hard to push yourself some days. But let's see, blah blah blah. So yeah, just here's an example of some boring niche or whatever, like a stainless steel refrigerator, and just all these long tail keywords. There's a free tool called keywordtool.io that's you can get some ideas and suggestions, and these are pulled straight from the search engine, so they're not like made up or anything like that. So that was one of the big hurdles, I think, a couple of years ago, was like I had heard of oh, you should go after long tail keywords, but it was like, where do you find these? And like, I was just trying to rely on myself to sort of make them up and hope that you pick the right ones that maybe people are typing in, but that's not a good strategy. You actually want to target keywords that people are actually typing in. And going back to the graph where, the volumes of keywords and stuff, the shorter, like if you just type in stainless steel refrigerator, that might get a lot of searches. And some of these longer tail ones you see here might get a much smaller amount of searches each. But since it's so simple to maybe write a little post or throw up a 3-minute video on each of these keywords, if each one of these is getting like 10 searches a month and you're targeting like 100 of them, 300 of them or whatever, which may take some effort, but once you're there, again, your competition, there's not going to be anybody really like trying to, saturate page 1 for stainless steel refrigerator rusting or something, so you're probably going to be sitting there for a couple of years. But you multiply that times a couple hundred searches, and that adds up, that equals the same or probably more than traffic than that one keyword like stainless steel refrigerator that you may have spent like forever trying to rank for, and you're like, yes, I'm finally on page 1 for this one keyword, and to find out that it's like not bringing in any traffic, or maybe it's bringing in traffic but it ain't making you any money. That would suck. So I think of all these long tail keywords as little hooks in the water. I think of the internet as like a big ocean, and all these little keywords, there's like a little hook in the water, and they're drawing in all this traffic. And kind of why I use this analogy is that a couple of years ago, I was hanging out with a friend, and we were, her dad was catching some koi fish. And so I went fishing with her to go fish out all these koi fish. And we had some bait, and she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use the hook. I'm not gonna use any bait. And she caught like 3 fish with just the hook. So sometimes you don't even need to have like be awesome at conversion or awesome at copywriting to make sales and conversions and stuff. You just need to have like the hooks and the water out there. And the more keywords that you're targeting, the more content that you have out there, you're naturally going to bring in more traffic, and that traffic is going to, convert into sales, and obviously, more fish you're going to catch. And another analogy is, I used to get hung up on trying to create like, $1,000 here, or another income stream with like $10,000 here. And I was working really hard to try to build that up. But again, if you go to my site, iamsource.org, and you look at the income reports, a lot of the income streams, they're not super massive. They add up to a decent amount, but sometimes I might only get paid out like $50 from one month, $100 from another one, $300 for another one. So I think of these long tail keywords as kind of like little pennies, nickels, and dimes and quarters and stuff out there. And the more that I have, the more I'm able to, the more money I'm able to make. But it may be small amounts per keyword or whatever, but it all adds up to, thousands of dollars at the end of every month. So, just because you're going after like ClickFunnels review or Lead Pages review or something doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make a ton of money. But if you have, if you're going after a lot of these long tail keywords, especially in multiple different niches, you can be making, $100 over here, $400 from this site, maybe $30 from this site, and like they all add up. So you achieve the same result that you're whatever your goal is, your income goal, but you're not like, stressing out if you didn't reach like $10,000 with this one site or whatever. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 3 is that SEO is sustainable. And so first, to recap, we've kind of gone over that SEO is pretty simple, or at least my approach to it is pretty simple. It's definitely scalable because you got tons of opportunity with all these niches and keywords out there. And, but if it was simple and scalable, but it was going to be gone next year or something, or in a couple of months, if it wasn't sustainable, it's almost pointless doing it. When I first got into making money online and internet marketing, I fell for a lot of business opportunities. And if any of you on the call have been involved in business opportunities, hopefully you did well, but I lost tens of thousands of dollars in the last couple of years by going into business opportunities. Some of them are sustainable, but what I found is most of these like little internet marketing biz ops, they tend to last like.
I was just gonna say, because I didn't know what BizOp was.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Basically means scam.
Okay, there we go. It's like MLM of hope in business. So it's like, hey, pay me this money and I'll teach you how to build a business. But really, you're just having people pay you money to teach them how to run a business, right? Like that's the best way to explain it. I didn't know what that was, and then I heard about it, and I was like, wait, for real? People are really selling hope and no real business. And then that person sells hope to the next person and there's no real business and no one's actually making money from anything except for selling hope, right?
Yeah.
It explains it pretty well.
It's pretty terrible. A big part of my debt was making the same mistake multiple times by falling for those. And like what I found is that again, there's ones that have stood the test of time, but I still wouldn't get into them. But the ones that whatever, not to name drop, but it doesn't matter now, but like Empower Network and all these other ones, like the lifespan, it seems to be about 2 years or less is the hype. It sort of dies down. It gets really, really big and then it dies down. And the worst part is like you're sold on this dream that you're building a sustainable passive income, and then it collapses and your business is taken from you, which you find out later was not your business. It was an income stream, but it wasn't. You had no control over it. And yeah, it was kind of like a little tangent. And then what people get sold on the opportunity and the comp plan and biz ops, and they forget or they don't know because they're naive or whatever, they're newbies. They forget to mention that you also have to be really awesome at sales, really awesome at marketing, really awesome at leadership to succeed in those businesses. Sure, there's the rare exception of people that aren't, but you kind of have to be good at all those things And so, yeah, it's not a passive really income stream usually that's sustainable. So the point with I want to make with SEO is that you're building, sure, you're promoting other people's products and services and stuff, but there's some simple ways to quickly pivot if you get like, if a product or service goes offline. So one example would be like, like, let's just say, I'll use a real example. So one of the products I promote is LegalZoom. So they have, legal products and stuff. There's a competitor called InkFile. They both have affiliate programs. So InkFile didn't approve me to promote them, but I'm ranking for a lot of their keywords. So I just send all my traffic to LegalZoom, and you can, there's simple ways to like quickly pivot. And if either you get denied from approving something or that product goes away in the future, there's ways to set yourself up to just cloak affiliate links and stuff like that so that you don't have to, you aren't using like your raw affiliate link. That way you can quickly pivot if things like that happen. So let's see. So you just don't want to build up all, like SEO is something that takes time. So you don't want to be building up spend all this time building up these digital assets that are just going to like crumble because they're, not sustainable or whatever. This is one reason, like some of the stuff I do is a little gray hat, if you have heard that term. So there's white hat, gray hat, and black hat. Basically, like the more black hat something is, the more you're kind of gaming the system. But we're all marketers, so you're always trying to like give yourself the edge anyway. But if you're doing all these intentional black hat stuff, just logically, eventually your Google's going to penalize you, and you want to, or at least I got kind of tired eventually of just running really fast just to get something, snatched out from under, my feet, the income sources that I build up, like business opportunities for one example. But so I just want something that's simple, scalable, sustainable, because, if I'm putting effort into anything, I want it to last. I don't want something, it even kind of bums me out of platforms like Facebook or any of these pay traffic sources, because wherever there's opportunity and, great conversion and stuff like that, eventually over time, it's going to get super saturated. The prices are going to go up, and then you're going to have to move platforms. It happens to every platform. And that's just kind of depressing for me. So like, I like that with SEO, the platform, the skills are not really going to change a whole lot. The keywords might, the products and services and the trends might, but the skill set is going to remain the same pretty much. And so kind of, if you've heard about these Google algorithm updates and stuff over the years, I used to get freaked out about that because I was, trusting all these other SEO experts of, what happened when all these algorithm updates came out, the penguins and pandas and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't even know what this is. I don't know how to figure out what the penalties are and how to recover and stuff. But I don't focus on any of that anymore. So if you just kind of create quality content in the first place, and you're sending, you don't even have to focus on the backlink part of it. But if you create high quality, valuable content from the beginning, you're gonna be okay over time. Like the only people that really get penalized are the people that are doing some of this shady stuff of like spamming like their YouTube videos with all these links, or trying to do that to their websites to kind of game the Google algorithms temporarily. But over time, eventually all that, those people kind of get taken off the first page and kind of pushed to the bottom of the, very back of the search results or whatever. So let's see. So yeah, so even if you do things ethically and white hat or whatever, like your rankings are probably going to bounce around a little bit of the time, but you're going to survive all these, Google updates and stuff. So that's how that works. And these Google, they're basically, when they do these algorithm updates, they're just, SEO is not changing, so I don't want you to think that SEO like changes every year or whatever, but you just have to put yourself in the shoes of Google and stuff. So they want to keep their search engines like the best results possible, and they're just kind of adjusting their algorithm to temporarily give more weight to rank content higher in their search engine based on like a different set of criteria. But like the SEO hasn't really changed since the beginning of the internet, because it's the backbone of a website is HTML, and that hasn't really changed since the birth of the internet. So that's all that's happening there. So let me just go past that. And yeah, so basically the scare that people are buying into with these algorithm updates is that Google is somehow changing the way that the internet works, or the HTML or whatever. And, I'm pretty sure that's not going to change over time. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, the three S's. So it's simple, scalable, and sustainable. Just to kind of simplify what SEO, it really just comes down to, relevant content and then backlinks. And, with my strategy, I really don't even focus so much about the backlinks. That's just kind of icing on the cake. That's something extra you can do to help boost your content. But if you're just starting by targeting these long tail keywords, and you can use free tools like keywordtool.io to get a list of those, and we can go through some examples if you want, of how to get those, and you're creating content, either blog posts or YouTube videos around that content, then over time you're naturally going to attract traffic, because there's just the only other people, like there's either going to be, in my experience, there's either going to be no competition for these long tail keywords, or the other competition is usually going to be very low quality content. And so with the no competition, usually Google's just going to serve up like the best results that they have, which sometimes isn't even related to that search query or whatever. And I want to communicate this myth of competition. I don't know if I've seen this anywhere else, but something I've just kind of developed over the years of trying to explain this myth of competition, because in a lot of other courses, a lot of other ways to make money online, there's this I feel like there's an underlying myth of competition of like, man, you better get in before the window closes, or you're not going to make any money, or this is all the money that you can make in this particular niche or whatever. And I want to communicate that this little circle here on the left, it represents the entire planet. You got to remember that out of all the people on the planet, there's a very, very small percentage of people that are actually interested in your niche, and like everybody else doesn't care. You think of all the different niches and industries out there. Like I use like auto repair as one niche. There's a ton of like auto repair shops and stuff out there, and but I'm not gonna. I don't have the resources or the setup to like repair, do major repairs on my own car. So I'm going to use those. Like, I'm not an auto repair guy, I'm an internet marketer. So that's what I do. And when I have issues with my car, I take it to that person. And so, and even though there's tons of those in each city, and those garages and stuff to fix your vehicles, or just oil changes or whatever, like there's plenty of them that are in business, and there's those businesses in every single city probably in the world and stuff. So there's a very small amount of people that are actually interested in your niche to begin with. So just to kind of debunk this myth, and then you go a little smaller, and there's an even smaller amount of people that are actually interested in your niche that take action. So there's a lot of people that want to make money online or are interested in working for themselves, but there's a very, very tiny amount of people that actually take action. Maybe they'll read some books or something like that, but there's very, very little people that are actually going to take any action towards that thing. They just like to talk about it and stuff. And then on the far right here, we see your true competition, which I think is actually even way smaller than this, but these are the people that are interested in your niche, they take action, and they actually don't give up, because most people that take action, they give up, so they're not your real competition. Maybe they made like one video and they're like, I'm not making any money, so this stuff is a scam. And so your true competition is ridiculously small in SEO. And when you combine SEO with that particular niche, maybe let's go back to like the custom plush stuffed animals or whatever, like there's a ridiculously small amount of people that are even going to consider going after that niche and competing with you. So I just want to drive home that point of like this myth of competition. So this is a reason why most people don't even get started, because they think, oh man, like I'm not very good, or there's all this competition, and it's just simply not true. So this is I don't know how much you guys know about like websites and WordPress and stuff, but this is a little illustration that simplifies like my process of how I build sites. So this little square right here represents the website, web page. These little bars represent the long tail keywords. So that just represents like the content, the articles, the post, and that's going to siphon in the long tail traffic to the web page here, or the video. But with videos, it would be usually on a per video basis, but with a web page, you can have, multiple pieces of content that are drawing in tons of different search query keywords and stuff. And then a couple of different ways that I monetize it. The main way I monetize it is, the long tail keywords drawing the traffic. And then I use this back button redirect plugin for WordPress called WP Zero Bounce. It's just like $20. And that has been responsible for like tens of thousands of dollars over the last year or so. And it's, I guess you could call it kind of gray hat or whatever. It's basically cookie stuffing, but it's significantly increased my profits, because what I found is it doesn't matter how great your article is or your content. The keywords, the long tail keywords, and the content is going to draw in the traffic to your website, but not everybody is going to click your links or click your call to action. A lot of people are going to wind up clicking the back button. So when they do, you can stuff their cookies with your irrelevant affiliate link. And that's how I was able to kind of create the six-figure income I did last year. And it's worked very well. And you can target or change the back button redirect on a per page and per post basis. So like if I have a post about, let's say ClickFunnels, they hit the back button, I want to direct them to a relevant offer. So one of the ClickFunnels offers. Now, if they came to a post that was about maybe something like lead pages, then I would ideally want to redirect them to either lead pages or perhaps ClickFunnels, since it's kind of in the same category. So that's the like 90% of the equation there is those two tools. So so focus on long tail, and then use the back button redirect to kind of cookie stuff your visitors, because not everybody buys on the first impression anyway. And then these other arrows just represent like if they did click one of the links that go directly to your affiliate offer, you would make money there. And then another way to kind of multiply your ROIs if you're capturing emails. So you can have email pop-ups or whatever, capture that lead and then remarket to them through email. So those are kind of the ways that I monetize my site. So it's really a pretty simple process. So I want to go over just a couple of ways to scale. There's, again, I'm mostly involved in the internet marketing, make money online niche, but I've mentioned a couple of these examples already. There's so many different ways to like broad niches and stuff to get into to start is like to start with to scale. One of those is sports. So we've got several different sports. You got soccer, you got hockey, you got baseball, football, and then within each of those sports, you've got all the teams. So you've got Atlanta Braves, Dallas Cowboys, all those different teams. And then you've got the players. So you've got all those long tail keywords related to each of those sports. You got foreign offers. So you got things in other languages. You've got seasonal products. So, and, to focus on one season may not be that exciting, but the cool thing about seasonal stuff or things like holidays, is that there will be it's like a product launch. There'll be a big spike of traffic at one point in the year, and the rest of the year you're not gonna make a lot of sales probably. But the fact that there's multiple, holidays throughout the year, you have a site around Valentine's products. March is coming up, so we've got St. Patrick's Day, then you got Easter, you got 4th of July, then you got Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's. There's so many different products and services that you can become an affiliate of to promote for each of those seasonal items. So you have this steady spike of traffic based on each one of those holidays or seasonal items. And you got things like product launches, like in the internet marketing niche, or if you want to build a site around movies or whatever, popular artists or popular actors and actresses and stuff. And you can, as a marketer, you have to get kind of creative. So in order to sell a diet and weight loss product, you may want to build a site around famous actors and actresses and stuff, because they get lots of searches related to their name, and there's very little competition. So you got a lot of traffic and very little competition. And if they're attractive, then a lot of people on the planet will probably are envious of them and want to look like them, so that you have an opportunity to sell them things like diet and weight loss products or something. So you just, think outside the box on how to promote these offers and look for opportunities. But I just want to show a couple of examples just so you can kind of get an idea of some of my sites. But so this is one of my sites. This is a ClickFunnels site, and it's gets several hundred visitors a day. It's a really small site, but this is one that I actually wrote all the articles myself, so you can check it out, funnelmode.com. And if you type site : / you can see all the index pages that Google's indexed here. And so you can see some of the other pages, because the way I've got it set up, it's some of the pages are kind of hidden from the home page. But you can see all these, I've written all these little posts. They're not super elaborate articles or anything, but they're just answering the question, solving the problem of the reason that person typed in that phrase and came to the site. And so I just try to provide a good and simple answer solution to that problem. And, as a result, a couple of months later, I'm making, getting a couple hundred visitors per day to this site. And this is in ClickFunnels, which is a very, very, very small niche. The only people that are interested in ClickFunnels are people that already know about it, or people that are, in the internet marketing, make money online niche. And so there's a lot of things you can do with that traffic. Once you get it, you can, sell ClickFunnels, you can sell related products, you can, build an email list. It's just, once you have traffic, it's pretty powerful, and you can just do this in multiple different niches. So that's one of my sites. Let's see. Do y'all have any questions? I don't know if Rachel is there, but I don't know how to really navigate the chat. But I just want to make sure this is all clear and makes sense to you guys. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where the chat is. Here we go. Cool. Let's see the chat. So, yeah, I just want to make sure that all this makes sense, but it basically just comes down to, creating relevant content. I usually go after the long tail keywords to do that. So let me give you an example with that keyword tool. So this is one of the keyword tool that I mentioned. So it's called keyword tool. So let's just use ClickFunnels as an example. So if we typed in that, I usually start with a root keyword and click enter, and it gives us, 260 unique keywords. So this is how I got started promoting ClickFunnels. So I initially started with YouTube videos. So I basically just copied this list and just made unique videos for each one of these keywords, and then uploaded them to and upload it to YouTube. And then you can do the same thing with the content blog post or article for your WordPress site or whatever. So that's all I did. And you can do this for multiple niches as well. So let's see. And then all this stuff obviously can be automated. I'm sure you guys all are, have clients and stuff. So I'm sure you're busy. So you can outsource the articles to places like iWriter or some of these other outsourced article sites. So that's the main piece of this equation that consumes time, is just creating the content, but that can all be outsourced. So since I have the time, or had the time when I first started, I would write these articles myself. But as you start to make more money and you want to scale this quicker, then you can outsource all this stuff. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell. And if you want to learn, this is a lot of information, I know, but I tried to make it as simple as possible. It's really just comes down to, the keyword selection, and then creating, valuable related content to those keywords. And that's pretty much all it comes down to. But if you want a more in-depth explanation of each one of these steps and how to set up all this, you can check out my course. I have a course called SEO Affiliate Domination. I'm actually increasing the price tomorrow. It's not some false scarcity thing or anything. It just so happened to fall on the last day of the month, and I'm doubling the price tomorrow. So I'm going to be adding some more value into it, but in the course, but I just walk you through all the steps inside the course of everything that I've mentioned here. And so, yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know, because I want to make sure to get all your questions answered. And again, somebody said, what was the plugin? It's called WP Zero Balance. It's like $20. So if you just type in WP Zero Balance, you should be able to find it. So it's like $20. There's a ton of upsells. You don't really need any of them, so don't worry about that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me, unless you guys have some questions, but I'm happy to stay on and answer those if you guys have any. Just want to make sure this stuff is clear. Let's see. So if you search, just to show you some real examples. So if you search something like ClickFunnels Evergreen Timer, you can see that funnel mode site I showed you. It's on page 1, and this is my video, this is my video, this is my video. So I might not be getting that much traffic from each one of these properties, but I'm there on page 1 for that, as well as hundreds of other keywords. And so the first goal of all this information is to obviously get some traffic. But once you get some traffic with the content, the next step is, if you really want to go deep into maximizing your commissions and say ClickFunnels, you kind of want to take over the first page of Google. So to do that, you would just make multiple different properties. So I've got one website. I could even duplicate this site, or just create another website with the same content. You see these videos. They're I think these two are actually the same, but they're on different channels. So that Google's going to. I found that Google and YouTube, they don't usually rank multiple properties for the same keyword. So if you want to show it multiple times, I usually create a new domain to do that. And that way you're saturating the first page. So it doesn't really matter what link they click. If they click one of these 5, links, they're all me. So, if they decide to take an action, I'm probably going to get that sale. What are some of your favorite tools to use? I try to keep the tools that I use to a minimum, because I don't want to, like when I first got started, I'm always trying to put myself in what I think other people's shoes are. I know everybody's in a different situation, but when I was starting out, I was, one thing that kind of frustrated me when I invested in courses and things like that, where it's like the course may be a couple $100. And I know there's always going to be some other tools to buy, but it was really frustrating when the cost of those tools was so much more than I was prepared to spend. So I try to keep my tools at a minimum. The main resources that you're going to need if you're building a website, literally just domains, hosting. Those are very inexpensive. WP Zero Balance is $20. It's one plugin. The other plugin that I use that I'll show you how to use inside the course, I didn't want to go over it in this presentation because it'll be a whole separate presentation, but it's called SERP Shaker, and it's a mass page creator. So it's more of a gray hat tool, I guess, to create a massive amount of pages quickly. But that's the only other main paid tool. You can even use like free WordPress themes, but there's obviously premium ones as well. But I don't use a lot of paid tools. And then if you're going to do YouTube videos, your most expensive tool is going to probably be like your laptop or your computer. Everything else is usually like $100 or less. So, get a decent microphone. You can grab a Blue Yeti for $100. You can get, like, if you don't have a Mac, ScreenFlow's like, I think it actually went up now, but it used to be like $97. If you're on a PC, Camtasia, and yeah, internet connection, and that's it. Like, I don't have, fancy lights. You don't even have to be on screen. It can just be you talking on a screen recording. So, and then Amy said, how long did it take before you were making $75 a month? I don't know if that's the right question or whatever, but you can make that in a month or less, So does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, as far as a timeline, I don't like to give people a hard, deadline of like, you're going to be making X amount by this date. But with a little, if you're disciplined and consistent, and you should start to see results within like 60 to 90 days. The money is going to be, different based on a lot of different factors, what niche you picked, what products you decide to promote. Like there's some sites that I built that haven't made any money, whereas there's one site that's making me a ton of money, and I built it the same as other sites. It just happens to be in like the mattress niche, which I think that's kind of boring, but it's making several $1,000s a month. So, and it's not even a very big site. So these, the ones that are going to be successful a lot of times are going to pay for all the other ones that maybe aren't. But the cool thing about having a website is that if one website, if you build it out and it's not making money, then you can always repurpose it, and you can wipe it clean, or just continue to build stuff in another niche on that same website and stuff. So you have a lot of freedom and flexibility to kind of pivot and stuff. So kind of recover. So you don't, and your overhead is so small with a website. You're talking about like $15 for a domain, maybe a couple bucks a year. So like with an hour or two of effort or something, you can make a couple $1,000s a month. A year at least with these sites. So like that may not sound like a lot of money, but the ROI on that, based on how much you invested in a domain and hosting, is incredible compared to a lot of other ways to make money online. Does anybody else have any questions before we go? I guess we're kind of wrapped up, but yeah, it's pretty much just comes down to creating content. I'll say this, about a year ago, I was on a Skype call with a SEO buddy of mine he's probably making 7 figures now, but he's a one-man show, and he was making like $500,000 with promoting CPA offers, which is these kind of like supplement offers you see there. They pay like about $40 or so each or something, but he was making, $1,000, $2,000 a day consistently. And I said, man, what's the difference between me and you? How are your results so much greater than mine? And it basically just comes down to putting in the effort. So you've either got to put in the effort yourself to create this content, or if you have a little bit of a budget, you can outsource this stuff. Because he was like, man, I just write a couple of articles every day. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'm disciplined, I'm consistent. And he was like, Greg, you're probably only about 500 articles away from an extra 10 grand a month. And I know that sounds like a ton of content, but if you were like me and you're not doing anything else, I was able to crank out like this funnel mode site you saw. I wrote like 10 posts a day, and it only took me like 2 hours or something. So, and I only focused on it for a month. So I've got about 300 articles, and then I stopped, and then everything sort of indexed and kicked in, and it's making money, and it's paid for all that 1 month of investment. Do you have a favorite affiliate marketing site to find products? Here's another little strategy when it comes to promoting products. So, I've put in some effort to promoting tools like ClickFunnels. So that one pays me a decent amount by itself, but I really like to find products on networks like, ClickBank is a really popular one, but I like ShareASale because they're more physical products. And I think you have to do a lot less selling in my experience with them, because it's like, with mattresses, like you're either going to buy a mattress or not, and it's just a matter of which brand. But with like an information product, I think there's a lot of sometimes you're not necessarily sure exactly what you're getting, so you have to like sell them and convince them and twist people's arms that like it's going to be okay, I promise you I'm going to deliver what I say I'm going to do. And then the other aspect of or benefit of going through networks is that usually they have minimum payment thresholds, which means you may have to make like $50 or $100 to get the payout for that month. So the benefit of going through a network like ShareASale or ClickBank or whatever is that you have the opportunity to promote more than one product. So let's say with a mattress, or let's say the minimum payment threshold for ShareASale is, let's say, $100. Well, if the mattress only pays me $50, I'm not going to get a payout this month. However, if I make one mattress sale and then like some other sale of a widget or something for $30, and then another sale of some other product for $20, that's $100. Now I'll get a payout. So you've got the benefit of that. Whereas, if I was just promoting a tool like ClickFunnels, I think they do have a minimum payout, which I think is like $50 or something. So let's say I made a sale, but I didn't meet the payment threshold. So I may not get paid out till next month. So I like to, if you're a beginner, I would recommend starting with like these affiliate network sites like ShareASale and stuff. That way, you can make smaller amounts of sales, but if you make one sale for 10 different products, then it'll probably be enough to make to get a payout, which is all we really care about. We just want our money, that money in our bank account. I don't, as far as what you're getting inside the course, I basically just lay out all the steps for my process step by step. So it's beginner friendly. It's broken down into sections. And the first section is just kind of going through each of the steps. So I go over all the tools and resources that I use. The second step, or the second portion of it, I go into all these different ways to scale. So kind of highlight more of the examples to scale, like sports and foreign offers and seasonal products and stuff, because I want to give you all these different ideas for how to use the information, because I don't want to say, you know, just leave you with information and be like, this is how to set up a site, good luck. Or this is all you can do with it, because you can use it for all kinds of things. I'm personally not in e-commerce, so I don't have a e-com store, but I know a lot of people are. So like on the site here, you know, these are all the things that are just some of the things that you can use these strategies for. So e-commerce, affiliate marketing. If you are in a biz op or MLM and you want to have an edge over all the other, you know, people in promoting that same product, like doTERRA or Amway or something like that, you can use these. I'm not somebody who like really endorses biz ops, but I know there's thousands of people on the planet that, you know, are in these and sign up for these every year. And most of the people that are involved in these biz ops, they don't have any idea of how to market stuff. So you can use these to give yourself an edge. I have made money in the past, you know, by making like YouTube videos and stuff about business opportunities I've been trying to promote. You can use this for launch jacking, which is, you know, I'm more familiar with launch jacking in terms of like product launches in the IM niche, but you can do this for movies, events. Last year when I think it was last year, Floyd Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, I knew that a lot of people were going to be searching for all these keywords related to those fighters, because it was a pretty epic fight. And I made some money by leveraging some of those keywords for, you know, sporting event. There's local SEO, and it's the same thing as, you know, any other SEO, but local SEO, by local SEO, I mean like local brick and mortar businesses. So if you have a physical business, you can do this, these same strategies for your clients, building brand authority. So if you have like a gregjeffries.com or whatever your site, your name .com, you can use these to help, you know, saturate page one for your name. You know, this works for video marketing and then you know, client SEO as well. So that's the second part of the course, and then the third part of the course is I go into some case studies to show you some real proof, because I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'm a very visual person. So I like to not only be told like what to do and how to do it and like be given some ideas, but I kind of want to see some real examples to just give me some idea. Like I'm not trying to, you know, give you a handout, and I want to teach you how to, you know, fish for yourself. So giving you all the fish yourself, or I want to teach you how to think like a marketer as opposed to like giving you all the answers, because that's what's going to help you, you know, survive and pivot in the, you know, months and years to come and stuff. Because, you know, ClickFunnels may not always be around. You know, your business opportunity may not always be around. You know, fidget spinners may not always be around, but it's popular, or it was popular a year ago or whatever. Like, so there's trends that come and go. And what I really want to communicate in the course is how to just use these skills and, you know, be able to kind of pivot from year to year, and yeah, teach you how to use it like sustainably. And I'm always adding to the course. Like, since I'm raising the price, I'm going to be interviewing some more people in the next couple of weeks and stuff. Some other SEO experts and online marketing experts and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. And the other cool thing about it that not a lot of other people I see do out there. So once you make your investment back on whatever you pay for the course, then I'll give you your money back. So these are some people that have made their money back, and I send their money back. So I don't want to pitch the course too much, but that's, if you want more information about what I do, that's where you can find that. But yep, Amy. So yeah, so once you make your money back, I give it back to you. So yeah, because I want to take the risk off of all the risk off me or you or whatever. Because I'm not really a fan of these 30-day money back guarantee refund stuff. Like I hate giving refunds. There's nothing more depressing than making a sale and then having to refund something. So I don't mind giving you your money back if you take action and get results, because that's what I want for you. Like I don't have to share this information. Like I'm going to be fine just doing it by myself. And, I don't need to share this with anybody. I don't need to, sell this course or anything. So my whole purpose in creating this content is to help other people. And so to incentivize you to take action, to implement what I share inside, I give you your money back once you make it back. All you have to do is shoot me a testimonial video, which helps me sell more courses. So that's the catch. But hopefully you'll be enthusiastic about making a review video or testimonial video if you make your money back. So, because I feel like if you can get to the point where you're making $500 or $1,000, hopefully that will give you the confidence to like keep going or produce more or something. Because if you just if you're just making like $10 once or something, then it's like, well, maybe it was a little bit of luck. But if you've made $500 online, I think that's, or $1,000, that's more money than most people ever make or have ever made online. So if you can get to that point, then hopefully that will be enough to kind of give you the confidence. It's like, oh, like this really works. And this is like I have a skill now and I can use this for a long time. So yeah, I want to help as many people as I can with this information. And the cool thing about it is, I'm honestly not worried about saturation and competition and all that stuff. I hate these other products and services and skill sets that's sort of implied as part of it, because there's all this scarcity of like, you've got to get in this special window of opportunity. And if you don't, you're going to miss out. And then the competition is going to increase and prices for PPC is going to go up, and you're the only people that can afford it now is the big companies. Like the way I teach SEO is something that anybody just getting started can do, and ramp up to at least $100-200 a day. Thousands of people could do that, and this would never get saturated. So that's my spiel about that. So are there any other questions though before we kind of wrap this up? But I just want to say thank you so much, Rachel, for having me on. I hope you guys have gotten some value out of this. I know it's been kind of long and rambled a little bit, but hopefully you got some value out of this. You may need to come back and rewatch the replay for it all to click. It took me years for all this stuff to kind of make sense for me, but hopefully I kind of explained it in a simple way. But even if you with what I shared, literally by just using that keyword tool, using those list of long tail keywords and creating content, whether it be a website or a video on all those long tail keywords, and you can do that yourself or you can outsource that, you will start to see results. So this stuff works. I've done this in multiple different niches, and I'm not super nerdy when it comes to like backlinks and boosting stuff and ranking stuff. So just by the nature of going after these low competition keywords, they will tend to rank and draw in traffic on their own, just by nature of being there and just showing up. So. Cool deal. Well, I will go ahead and I guess stop the screen share then. But thanks again so much for having me, and thanks, Rachel, for having me on.